Hi students, welcome to our demo class. The purpose of this session is to introduce about the data science and the machine learning program what we offer. Um, Although I will not go through all the details and all the items what we will cover, but at least you guys will have a fair idea what we will cover in this course. Yeah. So with that, let me just take you through. So the rough items or agenda for this session is I'll briefly introduce myself. I will share what the course objective and how and what the course modules summary looks like. I will give a very brief introduction about machine learning and why it is important for business. Although in this session I'll not touch about the supervised unsupervised learning, but I'll give a fair idea what are the different types of machine learnings which exist in the in the industry. One of the very important things, how and where we can actually apply machine learning in various industries, because we can all learn the theory, but unless we know where and how to apply, our learning is not complete. And then I will talk about what are some of the key considerations and pitfall what we should avoid whenever we come up with a machine learning solution, which are the areas we should be careful about. And in the end, we will learn in this course what are some of the future trends and what are the opportunities which are emerging, because it's very important to keep an eye how the industry is evolving, what is changing, because things are changing very fast. All of you would have, must be hearing about the generative AI and a lot of, technologies and a lot of investment which is going on into these technologies. So we will see how and where, this whole machine learning, topic or a theme is actually emerging. So that's a, very high level agenda for the demo class. Before I start, let me just briefly introduce myself. I'm the guest faculty, will be taking the machine learning and AI topics. About me, I come with close to 25 plus years of IT delivery experience. I have worked in various IT organizations, various locations in Europe, in Asia Pacific. So I have, I bring along a rich IT delivery experience. About my academics, I am an electronics graduate. I am a PMI certified program management professional. I have done my master's in business analytics, and currently I am pursuing my research or PhD in management. When it comes to hands-on or technical experience, as I mentioned, I bring in a rich IT delivery experience. I have been a project manager, a program manager, managed various products in my whole 25 plus years of experience. The domains I have worked extensively are banking and finance sector, and I bring a good experience in oil and gas domain as well. I have worked on various technologies, like I have a very good understanding of the latest digital technologies like cloud computing, database designing, AI ML concepts, data visualizations. All that I have hands-on experience. My areas of interest, IT delivery comes naturally to me. That is what I have been doing throughout my career, which spread across over 2 decades. A good hands-on experience on data visualization, data strategy and data analysis is something which I have a good experience, and data science and machine learning concepts is something which I'm very passionate about. So that's a brief about me. With that, let's proceed and let's understand and at least get a fair idea what machine learning is all about. Okay, so with that, let me just before we proceed, some ground rules which we usually follow in our classes. We respect each other while we encourage a very active participation throughout the class. We make sure that everybody, if they have any experience, any example to share, students are most welcome. Usually, we don't believe in having a backlog. If you have any assignments or if you have any projects to do, you are encouraged to do it on time, because it always helps. Otherwise, it's very difficult to catch up, and then we are always in a firefighting mode. Please collaborate while we are in the class and outside class. I will strongly recommend you to discuss this topic with each other, share your experiences from your industries. That will really help you guys to learn. And you guys are welcome to share experiences from your from your own experiences. Always welcome in case you have any experience in your field. Feedback is welcome. I mean, I'll just request you all to be constructive in your feedback. Let's be mindful and respect each other as a class and students. So these are some of the ground rules. Just thought we'll share. This is something which we follow in our batches. So with that, let us just understand what we will learn in this course. Yeah. So the whole idea is for us to understand what are some of the basics of data science. So we will understand some of the fundamental concepts, why data science is important in today's work, why everybody is talking about machine learning and generative AI. So we will understand some of the basic concepts. Then we will move on to machine learning, that what machine learning is and what role it has within data science. So that is something which we will learn. Then we will learn about different types of machine learning. So there are different types of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, reinforced learning. So we will at least have a fair idea what these different types of machine learning which exist in industry, and then we will try to apply some real world applications, things which are going on. We will try to bring some latest use cases. So with that, it will help us to understand this topic even further. So that is something we will learn, that in which industry machine learning is being applied, how it is helping the industry. So these are some of the topics what we will cover. We will learn about what are some of the tools and technology, right? What are some of the packages? Are there any Python packages? Are there any tools? So we'll try to learn what kind of tools and technologies exist in market, which supports machine learning. And as I said, in the end, we will try to learn where we are today is important to learn, but how and where the industry is actually going, that also is very important. So we will see what is happening in the space, what is likely to happen in future. So that is where we will familiarize ourselves with the future trends and challenges. So these are the high level course objectives, what we will cover in this course. Yeah, I hope all clear so far. So it's a very exciting journey. I hope you all will enjoy and it will be a fun as well as a very knowledgeable sessions for you all. Okay, so with that, let me just quickly move forward and just give a very brief idea in a very crisp manner what machine learning is all about. So if you see the diagram on the left hand side, actually AI, machine learning, these are terms which are very loosely used or very interchangeably used. I think many a times I have realized that students don't really understand, and these terms are used very interchangeably. So before we start machine learning, let me give a rough idea that how the whole universe of this artificial intelligence looks like. And then, as you know, in this class we will focus specifically on machine learning, but let me give a fair idea that how this whole landscape looks like. If you see the bigger umbrella, artificial intelligence is the broad concept where we create intelligent machines. What I mean by that within artificial intelligence there are various aspects which are placed underneath that. So machine learning, and with this diagram I hope it is very clear. So machine learning is a subset which comes under artificial intelligence. So as I mentioned, artificial intelligence is a broader area, where the programming comes, the NLP comes, the speech recognition comes, the machine vision. So all these things comes under the broader umbrella of artificial intelligence. If we go one level down, machine learning is a subset which focus on how machine learn from data, right? So in machine learning we don't code, we don't say if this variable is greater than this, then do this, else do this. So in machine learning we don't code like we used to do Java coding or let's say Visual Studio code. Here machine learns based on the data and they come up with the predictions and the recommendation. So machine learning, as I mentioned, is a subset of artificial intelligence, where the machine learns automatically from the data without we have to explicitly mention what to do. Okay, so that's the key concept, and we will learn about this in subsequent slide. So please keep that in mind. Neural network, if you see, is a further one level down. Okay, it's a type of machine learning where it is inspired, or the logic or the approach is how our brain works. So it's a quite a niche area, which is a subset of machine learning. And then comes the deep learning. Okay, so deep learning uses a very complex neural network where there are multiple layers. So although it is not part of this course, but if you see all this generative AI, these are nothing but a very complex deep learning or a neural network where hundreds or thousands, or these days billions of parameters are passed. So it works based on the hidden layer. There are weightages which are added. So it is a very complex and a very niche area where lot of intelligence comes into picture. And then you are seeing these days a lot of talks about generative AI. It's a type of AI which can actually create content. That's why it is called generative. Like, it creates the content on its own. That's why if you see these days, people are creating images, with generative AI. People are creating music, with this. People are creating, text based on that. If you say, help me draft a note or a message, generative AI comes with a recommendation, and it gives you a very nice, grammatically accurate, text. So generative AI is what basically creates, based on the LLMs and all the models. Basically, underneath, it's a deep learning model which generates the content. So I hope with that, the idea or the landscape of what is AI, what is machine learning, what is neural network, that is clear. So always keep this diagram in mind, that artificial intelligence, let me just summarize again. Artificial intelligence is a much broader concept where it's like an umbrella where many things comes underneath artificial intelligence. But as we focus, then you can create subsets. So machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence where the machines learns from the data, they see the pattern and they predict. Underneath that is neural network, where the algorithm is basically, it is inspired by the way our human brain thinks. So that is where the neural network come. Deep learning is further a subset of neural network where there are layers, and the data processes, and it can recognize images, it can recognize patterns. So many things deep learning can do, and that is where a lot of complexity and a lot of billions of parameters come into picture. And then generative AI is actually a type of AI which can create contents on our own based on very complex deep learning model. So I hope that would have given you a fair idea that how these things are interrelated. I thought it's quite important. Otherwise, these terms are very loosely interchangeably used. So with that, let me proceed to the to the next slide. Uh, so as I explained in the previous slide, okay. So machine learning is nothing but it allows the machine to learn from the data, and we will learn in subsequent slides that how it happens. There are many models, or there are many techniques which actually help us to decide what kind of a machine learning model we should use. So there are various consideration what we should have in mind. But just to let you know, machine learning is a subset of AI, as we learned in the previous slide. It makes machine to learn from the data on its own. It finds a pattern. It segmentize, or it comes up with clusters of data points. It can say that, okay, these customers are of this category. So it can do many things on its own. Yeah, so that is what in nutshell in machine learning is. We don't have to code like we code in Python. We write different conditions, we write different loops, we say if this then do that. We don't have to do that. It's all based on the machine learning models and based on the data. And later you will learn, the more the data, our models will predict or find the patterns much more accurately. So it depends on the data quality. Machine models success depends on what kind of a data we have, and that makes these models even more accurate. And we will learn about these in our subsequent class. What are some of the key components? As I just mentioned, data plays a very important role, in any, these machine learning models to, to be successful. The algorithm, what kind of an algorithm is used, to analyze the data is very important, and then the models which we train. Yeah, so these are the key components of machine learning: the data, the algorithm, and the model, which makes, this quite a useful, and it has really revolutionized or changed the industry. Okay, what are some of the applications? If you see, machine learning can be used in customer segmentation. As I mentioned, these days the marketing teams, they use the customer segmentation. They feed the data. They see their age, they see their salary, they see where they stay. So they can very easily come up with the buckets or the segmentation or the cluster of customer, and they can then have very targeted, marketing approaches for them. So machine learning can be, you are seeing these days customer segmentation, a lot of work is happening there. Fraud detection, I don't know if you have noticed these days, if the, when we are using credit card, if there is any hint of that it is not a normal transaction, you will see bank calling you, checking that we are noticing, something is happening or somebody is making transaction, is it you? So that is where, this fraud detection is happening. So there are models, it knows what the normal behavior is. The moment the models identify any outlier or any activity which is not, familiar, they immediately, you can immediately, they can raise an alert. So that's why these days, the fraud detection when it comes to credit cards or usage of, any transaction, you will see bank contacting you, very fast, and that is all happens with the fraud detection. As I mentioned, very personalized market recommendation. These models and, these things, it can be trained. It know what your history, your browsing history is. They can see what is your profile, and they will come up with a very specific marketing recommendation for you. So that is where these machine learning algorithms are getting better and better. And that's why you see these days, you are searching something, immediately you will see ads coming, related to what you were surfing. So all this is done, by all these models. So very personalized marketing recommendation will come based on your, your customer behavior, your profile, what you are searching. All that is done with the machine learning algorithms. And you must be hearing lot of algo or robotics, trading apps are coming. So that is where the machine learning is now, slowly gaining momentum. I'm not too sure the accuracy, because stock markets are very difficult to predict, but at least in a typical behavior, when there is a less volatility, you are seeing many algorithmic, products, or many companies or services are actually claiming and offering, robo services, where these machines can actually decide, should we buy, should we sell, should we, transfer the money from one fund to another. So this is where, in finance, you are seeing a lot of algo trading is also coming. So there are a lot of actually applications. There is a specific section for that, but I thought I will just give you a fair idea that what machine learning actually in nutshell is and what it does. Okay, so I hope you guys have got some idea about machine learning. Let me just quickly take us through just some few interesting facts. Okay, although AI machine learning has gained a lot of, attraction and lot of focus, but the success rate of AI ML projects is very less. So there are few research or few studies which are done. So the study shows that the success of any AI ML project is in the range of as low as 15%, or at max it has gone to 53%, where a prototype actually makes it to production. That still does not mean that that it was a successful project, because just going to production does not guarantee. But look at the stats that almost 15% on the lower side and max 53% project literally make it to the production from the prototype. Yeah, these numbers are fluctuating. This data is as of 6 months, so don't hold me responsible for these stats, but very interesting facts that although talking about AI ML is very easy, but implementing a successful AI ML project requires a lot of careful planning and selection, and careful approach. And we will learn a bit about these, that what we can do. Okay, so I thought it's an interesting fact to share. So please keep this in mind, that starting something new is very easy, but making sure that it serves the purpose requires a lot of careful planning. Okay, so that's this. By the way, why some of or most of these AI ML project fails? Okay, there is a one of the reason is that the goal or the objective is not clear. We start something that, okay, let's start, we will see how far we can go. With this approach, we will never be able to complete the project successfully. So we should be very clear what the goals or objective of the project are. We should agree with our business, we should agree the success criteria, that what this project, on what basis this project will be called a success. So that goal and objective has to be very, very clear before we start the project. Data is, as I mentioned in the previous slide, data forms almost the 70 to 80% effort, and the success relies on the data. Unless we have a data which actually can predict or has the features what we want to actually, which are relevant to our goal, we will never ever be able to succeed. So data quality, data preparation, data cleanliness takes almost more than 50%, or sometime in the range of 70 to 80% of the effort. Rest all, these models are there, we don't have to code, but preparing data, selecting the right model, making sure that the selection is tied up to the goals of the project. These are the things which actually contributes to the failure of most of the project, because if these things are not done, it will become a very, very expensive exercise, and very, very unproductive. Okay, and obviously the expertise is still not there, right? So probably people have a bit of knowledge of everything, but a proper true understanding, the skill set is also lacking. Although with time, I must say that the skill sets are improving, but these are some of the key reasons why AI ML project fail. So let me repeat. If we will not have a clear goals and objective at the beginning of the project, we will struggle. Not just AI ML, I think this line is applicable to almost any IT project. If we don't know what we are doing, there is no handshake with the business, we will struggle. Yeah, in AI ML project, data is the utmost importance, and it can really make or break a project. So that's why the data quality is very, very important. How and where we will get the data has to be really planned, because it's the data which train our models. We should have a very realistic expectation. We should build things gradually. We should not promise too much too soon, because it can take time. So we should be very, very realistic when it comes to setting the expectation. And obviously we should choose our team wisely. We should know what kind of a skill set we need, what kind of a role we need. So these are the things which we should keep in mind. Yeah. So these are some of the factors which we should consider. Let me just quickly take us through. As I mentioned, it's a continuation of the previous slide. So we should define the problem very carefully, right? We should agree, is it something we want to predict, or the project is to find a hidden pattern? What exactly is required? So the objective and problem definition is very, very important. We should make sure that we have a very high quality data which is relevant to the problem what we are trying to achieve or solve. Yeah, we can't have data from the sports industry when we are working on a finance problem. So we should be very, very careful. Very relevant and high quality data is required, because otherwise we will not be able to train our models. And we should set the realistic realistic expectations, and we should have a team which knows what they are doing. And another thing, usually what I have seen based on my personal experience, that team just continues when they know they are struggling. Yeah, they think, okay, let's continue, let's see, it may get better after a few weeks or few months. If we know that we are not able to achieve, it's okay to say project is unsuccessful and let us close the project. It's good to fail fast rather than keep doing and keep trying for months and later say, what, we tried but we failed. So in agile, and those of you who come from agile background, fail fast is a very, very known term, and a lot of industries these days are encouraging that. In fact, I have seen sometimes the team members get rewarded if they raise hand and they say, what, it's better to stop this project and save some money rather than burn the money and keep doing. So be honest. If we think we are not going in the direction where we want to be, it's always better to raise a flag and say, guys, better to relook at it. Fail fast. That is what I'm trying to highlight. Okay. Let me just quickly cover some of the points, because I want to keep it limited to 30 minutes. Although in our actual course we will cover these things much more in detail, but let me just quickly now fast track and talk about some of the terms in next 5 minutes. So as I mentioned, machine learning broadly does two things. Okay, one, either it finds the hidden insight which we can't find from our eyes, or it predicts something that, okay, based on this data, model things that, okay, tomorrow there is a likely of 50% that it will rain. So either machine learning model predicts something based on the data, or they find the hidden insight and they say, this is what actually the data says. So these are the two things. Usually supervised learning are used for prediction, because there's a data which we train on. The more accurate data, quality data, the prediction will be better. So supervised learnings typically are used for any kind of a predictions. Unsupervised learning, basically they group the data based on what kind of a data it is, and that is where unsupervised learning typically help us in finding the hidden insight. So what unsupervised learning will do, they will club all similar things together. It will say that, okay, these age group, this people, this is so it comes up with a logic depending on what model we use, and it can actually categorize the data so that we can see any patterns hidden in that which are not visible from the naked eye. So just remember this thing. The high level capabilities what machine learning brings in, either decision, helping us in decision by giving us the hidden insight, or by predicting something which based on the historical data. So these are the two key capabilities what machine learning actually primarily offers. Let me just quickly skip some of these slides, because I just want to cover what we will actually see and cover in this course. This is where I have given a quick comparison that what are the key differences between AI and ML. As I said, AI is a broader concept. Machine learning is a subset. Artificial intelligence, you can take example like a chess playing computer, whereas machine learning can actually recommend what to buy, what to sell. So these are some of the quick high level comparisons between AI and ML. Why it is important for business? As I mentioned, we can actually improve our decision making because we can see the hidden patterns. It definitely increases our efficiency and automation, because imagine you are getting queries which are very similar, right? So rather than people sitting and answering the queries, we can have the robots or the automatic machines which can actually classify and then answer the queries. So that's why you are seeing these days there are 24/7 customer care centers where you can just opt your options, and it will recommend you what is the best answer or what you are looking for. So all that is done, based on these models, which increases the efficiency. Yeah. um, it can have a very we can have a very personalized customer experience. As I said, marketing campaigns are very specific these days. They know which customer base will prefer what on what time of the year or what season. So they, for example, very soon you will see a customized or a personalized itineraries for you. So all these, where you should travel, they will see the history that, okay, this person is mostly, travels domestic, this person has traveled South India. So there will be a lot of personalized marketing, or in future, there will be a lot of personalized itineraries which will come, travel itineraries, which can be generated by machine learning. It can really do wonderful job when it comes to risk management and fraud detection. These days, all these loans and all these, identification whether a person will default or should we give a loan, almost every bank is using these techniques to decide whether we should give a loan or we should not give a loan. And credit card fraud detection is one of the examples. Okay. It can optimize the supply chain. We can it can project, or it can forecast that during what time of the month, what time of the quarter, what time of the year, what should be the optimal level of the inventory. Yeah, it's not like when the inventory is gone, then we are calling our supplier to give us, the delivery. Machine learning models can literally predict that what will be our trend based on our past data or based on the seasonality. So it helps us to improve our inventory. We can do predictive maintenance. I'll talk about this in our course. So predictive maintenance is, for example, in a plant where there are motors, where there are valves. So these machine learning models actually keep getting the data from the plant, and it can detect that how the valve or a motor is behaving. If they sense any sound or any kind of a thing which is abnormal, which is not there historically, it can alert that this valve can go down, and people can do a predictive maintenance rather than the machine is going down and then you have to shut down your operations. So these are the things where the operations and the supply chain management can be improved. And obviously, it helps us in developing new products, new opportunities, and new features. So this is a glimpse of what machine learning can do. And as I mentioned, these days it is not an option. Every organization, every company is moving toward machine learning. Those who are not, very soon they will be obsolete. So we should be absolutely well planned, and these should be planned very carefully. And it's a must have that how can we, even it's okay to start small, but this is no more a option. It is becoming a necessity. So this is a brief glimpse of what this course is all about. You all have seen what we will cover in this course. I just wanted to give us some idea about the course, about the flavor of what machine learning is. I hope you will you will be interested in this topic, and more than welcome for this class, where we will cover this topic much more in detail with the real examples, industry experiences. All that will be covered in this class. So with that, I would like to thank you for a brief overview of this course. Looking forward to have a detailed session with you all. I would like to thanks and have a wonderful day. Thank you.